Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Devious Mind here. Today, I was requested specifically to show ruins on particular mons that I use. Again, this will be the first time you guys have seen me do this, and evidently, here goes. Some of the mons that people are requesting are pretty much built off the same ruins of my current deck, because again, what you want to do is you want to maximize the use of your runes by leveling your runes. I may not have the craziest runes, but again, if you're running anything that's like tanky, that's based off of health-based damage, defense-based damage, you're gonna want a high defense and HP. So you could do uh, the defense percentage and health percentage slots so that they can sustain a bit. Evidently, like DPSs, you mainly want to go towards your attack-based slot, your attack percentage, and then try to enchant the subs before you even really apply those for the most part. So here's okay. So here's deck five. This is going to be the main one that you guys see me using pretty often. Um, so here goes. The reason why my Lucian's plus 18 is because I've spent literally every opportunity with the hero card selection, every opportunity with this event that keeps coming around where your ancient scrolls can go into a selection within the select few of like mons that you chose, because there's gonna be like three legendaries, three hero cards that you pick from, and then they can give you legendary or hero based skill stones for those events. So this is a level 15 plus 18 Lucian, running at 423 attack. Health and defense not really gonna matter as much because evidently um, people are wondering how is he hitting so hard, right? How is he surviving? Yeah, there's some of those rolls that you get when you limit break your character, which is going to cost over 600,000 of your mana if you're going to go from level 15 to level 15 plus 30. Okay, the reason being is it's 20,000 per level, and if you multiply 20,000 times 30, um, what you're going to get is a total of 600,000 there. So that's 20,000 per level. Every 10 levels, you probably spend um, around, I'd say, 200,000. So coming from level 15 to 15 plus 10, 15 plus 20, 15 plus 30. So just keep that in mind. Pretty much it'll roll into attack, defense, or health. Um, and then once they get to level 15 plus 30, it's going to be the same all across the board between you and whoever your opposition is. If you're doing level 15 plus 30 fights, everybody's going to have like the same base stats. But until they get to plus 30, it's going to be randomly selected. Um, but it's no longer randomized when you get to plus 30 because evidently you've hit the threshold, the hard cap on stats. And it's just based on your rune quality at that point. So again, Lucian's running on Fatal with 51% crit rate, 161% crit damage. Evidently, I sacrificed some of the crit damage because I wanted him to crit so I could maximize his use. So usually he's always critting for the most part. It can work against me if I'm facing Camilla, because if you crit, she'll get in this passive right here, first aid. When the allies in her particular line, right, they get attacked with a critical hit, the damage reduced is up to 20% with current HP. Or like it's reduced by 20%, and then the HP recovered is 10%. So if they're doing AOE's and they're dropping less than 10% damage, they're not even doing anything. But they will do about half their damage if, let's say, they're below that 20% there. But she's just gonna heal that other half. So Thrain, And again, like part of it is, I didn't mention the skill stone here. I'm doing the 20% boost damage from amplification magic. Is one thing I'm doing there. Just to maximize his damage, I'll hit around like say 1400 per card or so on and so forth. So Thrain, um, pretty much, I'm running the purple so that he heals the ally with the lowest health pool by 25% of the damage dealt when using Doomsday. He has over 334 attack, 44.6% crit rate, crit damage 168%. Perna, um, 71 attack. He doesn't really need the attacks, but mainly I'm just like working on defense and health pool for the most part, so he doesn't get taken out by the I say the AoEs as easily. He will get nuked hard by the single targets, but it does give me enough defense to where at times I will be able to take, like, if it's a multi-hitmon, I will be able to take a couple hits and then proc my invincibility, so on and so forth, and waste their time by having them still attacking Perna for a long duration of time while I'm doing setups. With over 38.4% resistance, so that I can still proc my Perna debuffs with a high chance of them not stunning me, debuffing me, so on and so forth. But again, that's Fatal on Thrain, Energy on Perna. So now to Chloe, what I'm running is um, her beneficial effect, um, which increases the resistances by over 30%, giving her 45% resistance, despite me having um, other runes and stuff that can boost her resistance. I'm just mainly focused on the health and defense since I'm not running Purple Stone. If I was running Purple Stone, I'd probably give her higher resistance because she'd survive a lot better. But she's running energy. Again, Perna, I did the reduced cost. The Greenstone. Now, if you're gonna run Beretta, you're gonna want his Purple Stone, which increases the continuous damage duration of Flaming Thunder by 3 secs. So, I have him on 30% accuracy, 28.8% resistance, and he's running Swift. Now, Megan, I'm running her Legend Stone. When enemy gets Bennett blocked, no, when enemy gets beneficial effects, it's immediately gonna remove all beneficial effects and grant beneficial block. The cooldown downtime exists, but the thing is, if they cleanse into a buff, it is going to apply that Bennett block. Despite them having immunity, this applies. Like, you could have will ruins. You could have immunity, you could have all these, if you over buff against a Megan, you do not want to do that because what can happen is it can work against you. I've had it happen where I was fighting an enemy team that had Wuza. They just buffed, and then they wanted to over buff. They wanted to go and apply a blood curtain, and it actually stripped all of their buffs at that point and put Bennett block. And I was like, whoa. So this is literally one of the most broken skill stones in the game. It ignores will ruins. And then for Koname, despite his nerf, which he deserved, considering dots, they still need to be able to get around Koname, because dots don't really do that significant of damage if people are cleansing it. It will do more damage, if people are running Sierra to kind of counter as you're trying to cleanse, But evidently, this was mainly so that it only worked against actual cleaves, because that's what it was meant for. Is it was to counter, Lucian and Tsari and stuff like that, But it wasn't really meant to counter the dots, so they nerfed it for that reason. So what it's going to do is going to remove, one harmful effect from each ally and recovers their HP when you die. Again, I'm just running energy with only like 31% resistance. Not even really going for the highest health because I want Konamea to be my lowest health, lowest defense mon on my team for the most part. Yeah, maybe the people in the back line, maybe DPS and stuff like that, they might have less. But evidently, Konamea, I want him to die so that he can cleanse debuffs for me and he can get that heal in when they're trying to, do this powerful dot comp so I can drop my damage in. So then Camilla, these are again my Kumrans. Um, before I was running a Coom deck. People were wondering like what were my runes for that particular deck, and I was running Soha as well in other instances. But I'm gonna show you what runes I was running on both of them after I go through and express Ragnarok here. Um, so pretty much, I'm using the purple stone. It sacrifices your health pool to increase your damage. Again, it can work not to your favor if, let's say, Soha strips, you're just going to insta kill a teammate, or, let's say they do a beneficial block just as you're, trying to, buff up. They can make it to where she just insta kills her team. You can utilize Camilla to actually do a massive amount of damage, especially if you have level advantage over the person. But again, you can use her to finish people off. You can use her with Galleon to make it to where they take more damage than you do. Because Galleon's going to apply the defense breaks to all the enemies. They can work it to their favor by then transferring it to you. The defense breaks to make it to where now you're just killing yourself. But evidently, for her, I'm really maximizing these runes because they may go back to Coom later on, so on and so forth. Um, but we're gonna go through. Uh, so Soha, as you guys saw with my prior deck and such, um, Soha would have been running my Chloe runes. All right, and then Coom would have been running my Camilla runes. So formation. Yeah, so this is that comp, right? So I'm gonna go transfer them over. Again, Legend Soha, she can block out their main DPS unit at the most inconvenient times for them, and actually, when you fight, it can actually prevent them at the end of the game from even moving that mon, as it's just getting taken out with basic attacks, which is very useful. If I get her higher level, she's definitely gonna be top tier for me. Um, so yeah, going back now, I'm gonna go grab Coom. I'm going to put on Camilla's runes. Again, the video that people saw before. Evidently, my Coom did not have the quality of runes that he has now. Um, because, like, I actually had less damage threshold because, evidently, I've been upgrading these, daily. My runes get better. The thing is, if you really want to compete with the top players, a lot of them do not have maxed out runes. So what you can do is you can max out one mon's rune that you feel is going to be a useful mon, and you can counter the meta. You can counter those, all plus 30 leveled out decks. You can counter it by just simply having better rune quality. There's going to be people that you're going to face that are going to have less levels than you, but they're going to outperform you because they have better rune quality than you. And that's not meaning having every mon ruined. No, what that's meaning is having a select few of the most useful mons on that team with maxed out runes. The ones that they idolize as, okay, this is my go-to. This one usually clutches for me. This one usually keeps my team alive. Like, I'm pretty sure if someone's running a Colleen, they're probably going to have maxed out runes on her so she can, mind you, heal for a lot more, right? Because it's based off the max health that she has. But so Coom here, he scales his damage based off his max health. All right. Evidently, if you add some crit rate into there, you can make him one-shot mons at times. You're probably not going to one-shot the people with maxed out decks, but you're probably going to do a lot of damage. You're probably going to do a lot of significant damage, and you may even finish off a target that, let's say, was low. He can help you, finish that when they're about to heal with, a Lucia, or try to, balance the HP with McKean. But again, McKean, you don't really want to be doing single target nukes when she's trying to do her stuff. You mainly want to hit her with those ignore defense AoEs, any powerful AoE that you have. Because McKean, what she's going to do is she's going to try to balance everybody's health. If you drop everybody's health, now they all drop by a ton. But evidently, there are times that you may even have a Belladon in front of you, and maybe you want to finish him off. You don't want him having a certain amount of health because maybe he has a lot of health, and that little amount of health is actually more than your AOE would have been dealing. But again, my Lucian hits very hard. He's probably going to finish him off. So going back into this, when I'm running with Coom, I'm running his Legend Stone. periodically he's going to revive up to 2 allies. Maybe it could just be one, or maybe it could be zero if someone's applying Oblivion to my Coom. It has to be two Coom, right? Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's same thing for Artemile. It's got to be applied to Artemile for it, to work as an Oblivion effect that it's not going to let him revive, right? Um, Konomeya, same thing. Like pretty much Oblivion's going to cancel out any passives in the game. All right. So going back to Coom, again, I do sacrifice some damage because if I was per se to go to max HP, I'd be having almost 5,000 bonus health there. Especially if I was to, let's say, max this card, I'd probably have around, I'd say, give or take, about 4,900 bonus health there. But again, I'm not really looking for the highest sustain with him, as I'm getting him to kind of allow me to reuse my Konomeya. And what that would do is now Konomeya has, one up to two bonus lives, because I've had it where I've strategized and had it where people, they tried taking out Konomeya and, I put a buff up, or, I did transfer. Maybe I, did a nice little one shot there with Coom, and I was able to get it to where Konomeya went to near full health. Um, but yeah, that's mainly what that stone is being used for with that one deck that I was running prior, and I'll go back to that at the end of the video. Um, but pretty much, it's just to keep my excellent support bonds, alive, because I'm not really trying to, keep my DPS alive as much, but it can work to my favor, if they try to take out Lucian or they try to take out Thrain, maybe Soha, because maybe Soha's, kind of helped me counter those beneficial effect based teams. But it's just an all around really good legend right there. So going back, I'm just gonna go from Chloe to Soha. So here's Soha, my friends. Alright, so for her, what she's running here is over 32,246 health, 230 bonus defense. She's not really going for the highest resistance or accuracy because she is RNG based. I don't have the craziest runes. I'm telling you, I don't have the craziest runes, but what I focus a lot on is trying to maximize the attack, defense, and health pool of my particular rune sets, because you still got to work with what runes you have till you acquire better runes. And you can even go into, let's say, grabbing like an old rune and as you're powering that up, if you can unlock whatever one that you might have wanted to keep earlier, and you can power up this one over here, and let's say put a legend from right over there, um, or whatever rune that you were maxing. But I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time. But I would say if you get a better quality rune and you want to kind of maximize your main deck, go ahead and do that. A lot of people you're gonna find they might have like a really good build, but that's probably their main build. The people that are really doing a lot of damage to you, they don't have those runes spread out too much. They're pretty um, thin spread, I'd say. The people that have the best quality of runes. But again, they're gonna outperform a lot of people. It's gonna help them a lot. A lot of people that you find you just really cannot beat, they have very minute amount of runes. They're really just maximizing the levels of their runes, the quality of them, because it takes time. It takes time. But what I would recommend doing, if you guys are trying to perform, for anybody that was watching the video, that's really wondering like how is Devious Mind here, just doing so much damage, competing with these high-level players. It's simple, man. Just focus on maximizing your rune quality. And thank you again, and have a great day.